Hey there, Wolfpack fans. It's me again. Grayson Boone is in the building again, and we're here to talk another game against the boys in baby blue. This is part two. This is the revenge game. This is at home against a team that has, had our number in the past. But Grayson and I are here to tell you today why this game tomorrow will be different. And with that being said, I think that that's enough to have the Wolfpack fans salivating. I think that's enough to have us foaming at the mouth and ready to go. This is one of those games that, in the words of my very great coach and very good friend Dennis Parker, if I got to pump you and prime you to get ready for this one, you don't belong on this field. You don't belong on this court. So with that being said, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get straight into it. You ready, Grayson?
The get back.
The get back. The big pay back. We're going to tell you why and how it's going to happen on today's episode of Locked On Wolfpack.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So, Grayson, we're looking at a game in which, there are some folks out there who, very unwisely, in my opinion, still don't believe in the pack. Still are saying that this team ain't it and that, this is a game in which UNC should just come through and wreck shop and clean up. And historically, we haven't been very good against this team. But I think this one's different. Something feels different here. What say you, Grayson?
Amongst all Wolfpack fans, it's the game that needs no introduction. Mm-hmm. It's UNC coming to our house. And like I mentioned in the episode the other day, it has even higher stakes probably between these two teams we've seen in quite some time. This is a game that both teams desperately need to have. We're both coming off losses. UNC lost on Monday, I believe it was, to Miami. We took that L up in Syracuse on Tuesday. We're coming down to the wire here. We're fighting to get into the top four in the ACC. UNC is fighting to stay alive and even make the tournament. Both teams got to have it. It's going to be a car crash on Sunday. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know what's going to happen. But I hope we show up. To put it very clearly, I hope we show up. Because this is, tell me, I don't know another time we played UNC with this high of stakes on the line in basketball. It's been quite a while, I would say.
It has been. It has been. But I'm going to tell you this. I talked to a good friend of mine who's a lifelong diehard Wolfpack fan. His family is Wolfpack fans. And, they've got the only thing in their home, the home that he lived in growing up, that was allowed to be light blue was the toilet seat. That's it. That's how deep the Wolfpack blood ran. And that's not a joke now. That's real spill. That's how deep the blood runs there. And I was told, well, this UNC team has looked different since they had a players-only meeting a little before the Clemson game. And I said, and that was before the Miami game. And I said, I had to quote Jay-Z, the philosopher and poet Sean Carter. You can try to change, but that's just the top layer. Homie, you was who you was when you got here. Now, what does that mean in terms of this game and the boys in baby blue and all that? This is a team that has been wrought with dysfunction, with, different stories about this player not speaking to this player, and this player doesn't hang out with any of the team and all this and all that. And to me, more important than all that is we are now in a position where we don't need an off night. And I just realized that the other day. so often in the past to get the big wins that we needed. It's always been, well, if this good team has an off night, we've got a shot. We've got a shot. If they're missing and we're clicking, we've got a shot. This is now a team. Just be the best version of yourselves, and we'll get it done just fine. If Terquavian is the best version of himself, if Jarkel is the best version of himself, if DJ is the best version of himself, because, while Armando Bacot wore the shades after this, and again, this is the type of game, this is the type of moment. If you need to be pumped and primed as a player, big DJ Burns, they put your guard out on the stretcher. ACC leading scoring guard, they put him out on the stretcher. And their fans were booing afterwards. Not only were they booing afterwards, Armando Bacot thought it'd be cool to wear your shades and emulate you after the game. Mr. Burns, I shouldn't have to say nothing. Coach Keith shouldn't have to say nothing. I would just replay that video of him with the shades on, of Armando with the shades on. I just keep replaying it until my big fella has worked up a froth, has worked up a lather that's ready. He's good and ready to go tear a head off.
There's so much bulletin board material, you can no longer see the board. It's just paper.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Everything that we've gone through up and down the season, everything that they have gone through up and down the season, it is coming to a point, a collision course on Sunday. Somebody's got to have it. And quite frankly, we need it more than they do. Now,
Absolutely.
Something that they have, unfortunately, is a luxury of the name brand. Can they lose this game and somehow still find a way to the tournament? Probably. We can't mess around like that.
Yeah.
We have to have this game. We have, I think, 4 games left, 3 of which are at home. Mm-hmm. We have to have this game. They are coming to our house. We better meet them at the door. Make sure they take their shoes off because they ain't getting no mud in our house.
Yeah.
We're keeping it clean up in here. We make the rules, okay?
And like I've always said, it's about how you start in these types of games. You do not want to, oh, yeah, we'll figure it out. Oh, we could kind of play iso ball for a No! You come to this game prepared from the opening tip, ready. And again, if I'm this team, I'm already knowing they're going to call it tight. Everything that can be, that ain't my concern. My concern is going out there and being the best version of me, giving everything that I've got. If I'm going to mess up, I'm going to mess up going 100 miles per hour. If I'm going to screw up, I'm going to screw up royally. I'm not going to screw up because of a lack of effort. I'm not going to screw up because of a lack of, this is a game right here. This is the game right here. And again, the biggest thing for me is we don't need them to have an off night. This is a team, a UNC team that's 1-4 in their last 5. 1-4 in their last 5. Yeah, the win over Clemson was a big win. Yeah, absolutely. To dominate one of the best teams in the conference, that's a big deal. But again, on the season, we have been the better team. We are ahead in the conference rankings. We're the 5th ranked team in the conference. They're down to 9. I am telling you, this is a moment where this team has to take it upon themselves to say, we are who we think we are. We are that team. Terquavian said, hey, you don't have to wear blue in this state to go and do something great. Terquavian, it's time for you. The first time that you played against UNC, you went off, went nuclear. I believe no, it was when they were at the Dean Dome, and he put up what, like 30 something in that game.
He was filling it up.
We need another one of those. Jarkel, you put on the show all year. It's time once again. And I'm gonna tell you this. This UNC team is the type of team. If you let them just be themselves, if you just show up and let them be themselves, they'll find a way to give this game to you.
And listen, too, touching back on the last time we played them and, even just paying attention to what else they've done in the ACC so far this year, we know what they are. We know what they're going to try and do. They're going to feed Baycott down low. If he doesn't make the shot, he's going to the line. They're going to try and get to the line. No kidding, after what we saw the first time we played them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's very clear what they're going to want to do, okay? Expect it. Expect it. We cannot afford to let RJ Davis shoot 14 free throws and hit every single one of them, okay? Now, again, there's nothing to be done about our free throw defense, but we cannot be allowing the cheap fouls that put them there, okay?
Exactly.
We have to be smarter. I understand that we play the style of defense that subsequently results in a lot of fouls, but you got to find ways to be smarter about where you are on the floor, who's in front of you, and where the ball's about to go. Can't have the cheap fouls, can't have the lazy fouls. You have to be on your P's and Q's for this one, okay? Quite frankly, I don't want to hear anything about how the fouling was the first time we played them. Yeah. At this point, the ACC officiating has shown you exactly what they are, okay? And again, expect it. If you go into this game saying, well, Baycott's just going to do whatever he wants and they're going to shoot 49 free throws, if you want that to happen, then yeah, they'll probably find a way to make that happen, okay? We are the better team. I wholeheartedly believe that. We are faster. We shoot better. We play better team basketball than they do, okay? Three-point shooting, they're in like the 300s in three-point makes this year. Awful, okay? Use that to our advantage. Make them shoot. Now, they're streaky shooters. They haven't been streaky in a good way this year. Make them sweat. Don't give them the easy way out. We saw how that goes, unfortunately, the first time.
Yep, we surely did. We surely did. And we'll be right back to tell you more about how we think this game is going to go. But before we do, I've got to tell you about FanDuel because we're at the midway point of the NBA season and new customers get a no-sweat first bet of up to $1,000 with FanDuel. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from money line to point scores and threes drained to who's going to win a dunk contest to who's going to win Team USA or the world in the Rising Star Shot. It doesn't matter. You can bet it all with BetOnline. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at an even bigger payout with the same game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no-sweat first bet with up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. So I want to give you a very interesting stat that, some people may not know. These two teams, when I say they're trending in opposite directions, they are quite literally trending in the exact opposite directions. What do you mean by that, Ken? Well, since we last met in the Dean Dome, both teams have played 7 games. NC State is 5-2 in those 7 games. UNC is 2-5 in those 7 games. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is clear what's going on here. This is clear that this is, again, if I got to tell you to get up for this one, if I got to tell you how important this one is, even if, and I'll say this, even if this was a game so like couldn't even spoil an undefeated, and they were, one in however many games or whatever the case may be. This is still one that you have got to want with all your heart and soul when you put on that red and white. This is one that, again, this is a team that's looking to die a gentle death. This UNC team, they're looking for a way out this season. Give it
with them sitting like right around the bubble area right now getting a win against them would be probably even more satisfying than it would be just like maybe the first time we would have played them. To be able to have an opportunity to potentially stick another nail in their coffin for this season, what an opportunity. Not just for the players, not just for the fans, but just for the record that we have against the Blue School in the last however many years. If you're a Wolfpack fan, you've seen the numbers. I'm not going to say them. You know what I'm talking about. What an opportunity to stick it to the blue man this weekend. I mean, like we've been saying it for the last 15 minutes. This game needs no introduction. If we have to get you excited, you've come to the wrong place.
You've come to the wrong damn place. You've come to the wrong. And talking about the implications, right now, according to bracketology, according to Joe Lenardi's bracketology, in the last four in is Mississippi State, New Mexico, Clemson, and the boys and Baby Blue. Those are the last four in. And right now, NC State is sitting as an 8 seed. And I know you're wondering, well, what's the problem with an 8 seed? Well, very interesting fact about an 8 seed. Do you know who their second game would be if they beat the 9 seed that they compete against? The winner of the 1-16 matchup. Now, unless you are counting on one of these automatic qualifiers like an Alcorn State or a Howard or a Morehead State, or unless you're counting on a Milwaukee to pull a UMBC and go ahead and be the number 1 seed, which, by the way, has only been done once since the tournament expanded to 64 teams. Only one time has that ever happened. Unless you're expecting one of those deals to happen, generally, you don't want to play a 1 seed your second game in the tournament.
There's certainly no need to settle for an 8 seed when we can improve our stock by beating UNC on Sunday. And like I said, we have 4 more games, 3 of which are home. It's still a little bit of a gauntlet. We have UNC, we have I think it's Clemson at home, we have Wake Forest at home, and then we got Duke on the road. That is no easy 4-game stretch by any means.
Yep.
But it starts with the first one, and it's the Blue School down the street on Sunday. What a great opportunity to start possibly a 4-game win streak going into the tournament.
Absolutely. And with that being said, we're going to get our predictions in. But before we do, we're going to get a quick word from our sponsors. So, Grayson, tell me, what do you have happening in this game? Talk to me.
I think this will be a reemergence of Jack Clark. You know, we did not have Jack Clark the first time we saw the Tar Heels. We do have Jack Clark now. That is going to be a tremendous help with his rebounding ability that we sorely missed the first time we played them, coupled with what he can do on the offensive side of the ball. I think he will be a huge help with us. And then it goes without saying, we hope to have a full 38 to 40 minutes of Jaquavion Smith this time, playing what I hope to be a more efficient basketball game. I think, and I not even biased, I truly think we are the better team and we get it done on Sunday. Score is 86 to 75. 86, 75 NC State.
You know, I think after the last game, we look at this one, and there is going to be a lot of fouls called, and I think that this is a game where, after last one, NC State is going to throw caution to the wind and say, you know what? If that's how they're going to call it, then we're going to make them put us on the floor too. We're going to make them either call some fouls or make it very blatant that there is no regard for NC State here. With that being said, I think that strategy pays off, but I also think that UNC shot selection, shout out to Caleb Love, because so fun to watch that guy. Great time watching them. I think that there's going to lead to some long rebounds, some, I don't think that they have, and this feels strange to say, but I don't think they have the desire, want to get back defensively. I think that coupled with some tight whistles, because I think it'll be a little physical and Russell want to keep this thing under control, leads to NC State winning a close one, winning a high scoring game, 88-83. I think that we come away with a win here, but I think that we see an explosion from Terquavian, because Terquavian, and an interesting thing about Volcanoes is like they have so much time before they're like scheduled to erupt. Like, oh yeah, these are the patterns of how often this volcano erupts and is supposed to go off on this day. If it doesn't, the next time it goes off, if it's like, oh yeah, it's supposed to go off in the year, whatever, let's say 1300. Oh God, it didn't go off until the year 1600. It becomes much more massive than what it would have been had it gone off on schedule. Jaquavian Smith has been, he's been a little shot constipated recently. He's due in a major way, and I think he comes through in a major way. I think that we all saw the first game. DJ Burns took Baycott's lunch. They switched Baycott off of Burns for a reason. And as of late, DJ Burns has been playing better defense. And we've got Jack Clark back to make more of a difference and give more problems on the inside. Whew. I think that this will be a high-scoring game. I think that they'll get to the line a lot. I think that we'll get to the line a decent amount. I think that we find a way to pull it up. I think that we find a way because, again, like I said earlier this season, I trust our guys in winning time more than theirs. I trust our guys. I would take Jarkel and Terquavion over RJ and Caleb when it comes to winning time. That's just that's who I am at my core here. So we'll see how this thing works out and whether or not the Locked on Wolfpack podcast predictions were right or wrong here. Wolfpack Nation, the game is sold out. No tickets available. I need the same energy y'all bought the Reynolds last night to carry over into the PNC. I need that exact same energy. I don't care what the score is. I don't care if we up 40. I don't care if we're down 40. I need that spot to be packed. I need it to be standing room only. I need those boys in baby blue to know. I want them to come through and see a sea of red, see a sea of rowdy, angry, nasty red. And of course, be the same classy folks y'all all are, because, our fans cheered when the UNC player went down with injury, got up and walked off the court. What a novel idea. What a novel idea that is. So, with that being said, keep up the great work. And we'll be coming at you with a review immediately following the game this weekend. Thank you all so very much for coming out. Y'all make this show what it is. Peace and love, y'all. And as always, go Pack.
Go Pack.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.